Hey, it's E.B. Moss, and this is a bonus episode fresh from CES 2025, which took place in the first few days of January. And if you want to hear from two of the smartest men on the planet, listen to the next 15 minutes. First, I spent a few minutes with Andrew Klein, a creator, influencer, facilitator, and collaborator, and he's also the lead creative technology and innovation at PMCI, part of Publicis Media. Then I spoke with my brilliant friend, Albert Thompson. He's managing director of digital innovation at Walton Isaacson. He frequently talks about how technology has continued to transform the discipline of marketing while disrupting the conventional consumer engagement models. You're going to want to play both of these brief interviews back a few times. Really listen to what they're forecasting, what they're excited about, and some of their cautionary tales for the coming year and years. Andrew Klein, we are at CES 2025. It's a pretty remarkable show because nobody's talking about AI or bots or anything like that, right?
Oh, no one. It could be the hottest topic ever.
And you're kind of the perfect person. You're SVP at
PMCI, Publicis Media, Content and Innovation Team. I run creative technology, so I have a really key focus on Gen AI immersive experiences, but also a core passion in Web3, blockchain, and crypto.
I have no idea how to even spell any of that. Can you give us a mini crash course on not only what you're coming to the table with, and you were literally just at the table on a panel here at CES, but also what you're excited to see and what's going on with news. So just talk, Andrew.
Sure.
You're brilliant.
Thank you so much. So our team is specifically built to make sure that we're taking our brand and our clients into what is next. And CES is the perfect place to understand what is coming, what is next, especially for what is consumers going to be engaging with. But we want to find what is these hot things, and also where do we invest? You know, where is there's opportunities? That's what my panel was just about, is how are we investing in these new channels and these new opportunities, these new technologies through our investment channels. Now, besides that, we are not only looking to invest, but we're here to explore and understand what is really going to be sticking around next year and what's not going to be, what might just be a flash in the pan. But obviously you just mentioned AI and Gen AI, and I think this year what we're very excited about is seeing how much Gen AI is going to be coming into our everyday lives in very useful ways. And so we're seeing more wearable AI technology, where this is something that's not a device necessarily that sits on a desk and you leave it. This is something that you're going to walk around with every day, whether that's your glasses or your new earbuds, or even these new, head-mounted displays. All of these are driving us to these very immersive experiences that are connected to AI. It's analyzing what we're seeing, and it's giving us these amazing responses back. So we're really excited to see how we could start taking advantage of this to make better decisions, but also as advertisers, what does that mean? Where do we come into play? How do we connect with these users in these Gen AI spaces? How do we bring our content or our IP or our characters or our message into these different environments? So we're really excited to see how these Gen AI tools and software are really permeating through just about everything, and excited to see it, really get hands-on with this and demo a lot of this stuff this CES. So we'll see what's coming, but the wearable AI stuff is going to be key, because I believe we're going to have more conversations with AI potentially than we would with people, especially when you think about digital communication.
And you also have a little insight about what's going on with news.
Something that is just really taking off right now. I'm not sure if we're going to see it so much at CES, but what's happening at this time is this convergence of crypto and Gen AI, which is coming together in a very interesting way. And we're seeing AI agents truly come forth through crypto and this like social media connection. So there are these new AIs that have been popping up recently that people can create. They come up with a personality, they tell it what you want, and then they're actually launching these via Solana or Ethereum crypto channels.
Yep.
And people are investing in these, and by investing in them, they're getting access to these unique AIs. And also people are starting to deploy these AIs and to do different tasks. They're agents. And so what they're doing in most cases right now is coming to social media. Right now, X seems to be a place that is able to integrate with them very easily, and they're launching these channels where they're creating highly engaging content, getting people to connect with them, getting people to follow them, and getting people to have these conversational experiences. Now, what are the goals of these AIs? In some cases, right now, it's primarily towards crypto and crypto trading. Buy this token, get this token, or something's happening, so you should pay attention to this. But we could easily see how this can change into any other type of vertical, where it could help you, identify a car, buy certain fashions, help you with recipes, and you're going to basically start subscribing to these different AIs, just like you would subscribe to certain news sources, certain channels, or you would follow accounts. And then these are, as long as they run, they are engaging 24/7 as 24/7 marketers, hype machines, or companions.
Well, hype machines, that's quite the word. So should I trust these kind of AI bots that are gathering and spitting out news for me?
I think we have to be, very careful about where that's coming from. As they say, DYOR, do your own research, but it's hard to say.
But if all your research is being informed by bots, it's just an AI.
I think people have to have a fine balance and understand, what do I trust and how much do I trust?
Yeah.
Now, I think there was something very interesting that I'm starting to see, and you'll start seeing this if you use X platform and you're talking to a bot, they actually call out that you are talking to a bot. So they're doing some really good work where they're calling out that platform, where the platform's doing their due diligence.
Okay.
Because they're not saying that this isn't a bot. And they're clearly telling you this is AI. And I think we're going to see that across all platforms as a responsible measure, that you have to at least know that the platform is serving you up a bot experience or an AI, generative AI experience, and that's what you're going to connect with. Now, what happens is really, at your discretion as the user, depending on what the content is and what it's about. But if it's asking you to do financial things or asking you to do things and take action, well, you have to be careful about that. And, people we know are very sensitive to manipulation digitally and certain messages where they don't know, are they getting catfished or not.
Amazing. Well, at least there's some degree of transparency in there if it is being forthright.
Yes. Happy to see the big platforms are taking that important step to make sure and protect the users, because that's what has to happen at the end of the day. And we're an agency working with clients. We have to protect our clients and make sure that we're putting out compliant experiences. So we're exploring this space right now. I think it's very interesting. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun with it myself, but I certainly think that we're going to see brands taking advantage of these AIs, where they're going to take their IP, their content, and allow it, through the right guardrails, to flourish in these AI spaces. So that way, you can allow it, a brand character, to take on a life of its own and engage with people, to have a good time, or to be entertained, or to really help them with services and solutions.
So, in a quick note, looking at the near past, what are some of the applications or where your creative and technology, as your title implies, where have those been applied for a brand that you're quite proud of, something you've done or how you've applied something for your company?
Sure. We have actually got awarded recently for our Kraft Heinz Lunchables work, and we created something called Lunchable Playables, which really, we're really proud of this work. It allowed us to lean into this space where we feel is the future, and that is a crossover of gaming as well as Gen AI. And we allowed kids to participate with this. So basically, for Lunchables, we knew that kids were snacking snacking, and when they're snacking, they tend to be using their tablets and their digital devices, but they're probably watching brain rot content, not the best educational stuff. So we wanted the kids to be able to be playful with their food, and what we did was something very new for Lunchables. We put a QR code onto their packs and allowed them kids, when they got the packs, to scan that, to have an augmented reality experience, to digitally play with their food in 3D. But it wasn't just about playing with your food in a fun, constructive, and educational way, where you could, make a race car and race that cart around your table. But you could dance with
characters. Sounds like the Wienermobile, by the way.
It's got a lot of fun activities. But we took it further, where we knew what they wanted to do as well. And when they engaged with us, we gave them a play to earn experience. So they played with us on the brand while they were snacking, and when they played, they earned. They earned lunch money, which was a digital currency that we gave them that they were able to take and go right into Roblox, because we know they have Roblox installed in their tablets and their hand-me-down phones. So they got pushed right into a Lunchables, Playables world, where they're able to use the play to earn currency they just got, their lunch money, and get the coolest branded wearables. And not only they had the wearables, they had live events, they had content they were able to engage with safely and compliantly for months. And so what was great is that this was the highest selling Lunchable product that they had when we were running this campaign, because we really spoke to how kids today are looking to lean into these immersive digital spaces, the AI allowing you to have these magical moments, unlock that for them, and then pushing them into these spaces where they love to hang after school, right? And that's
remarkable.
Digitally in Roblox. So we were happy to win some awards for that.
I bet. That sounds incredibly award worthy, and I cannot think of a better emblematic representation of creative meets tech than that. Andrew Klein, thank you so much for stopping by. I think that this could be my entire CES podcast episode in one interview.
Well, we have lots more to explore.
All right,
There's
I know
so
it's
much,
just day
thank
one.
you
Here we
so
go.
much. It was great to be here with you at CES.
Thank you. Albert Thompson, so good to see you again, as always.
You too?
You're like my favorite person.
I was going to say the same thing.
Aw, thank you. And now we're across the country. We're at CES, and you just finished moderating a panel, I believe. What was the topic?
It was about monetization when you start looking at immersive technologies, AR, XR, MR, the metaverse, you name it. So good group of sort of heavy hitters between a few agency collectives, someone from IBM, someone who comes from the label business. So good talk track, good talking heads, as they say.
Got it. So it makes sense that you understand all of those things because you're the managing director of digital innovation at Walton Isaacson. So what are you seeing so far at CES? What are you most excited to see? And what was a takeaway from the panel? But no pressure. It's a 3-parter.
Look, here's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because I consider myself more of a marketing technologist, as I said when we're open, and that is I have to make it make sense for brands and for clients. And a lot of it is how we're going to use technology to solve their problem. So digital technological therapists of sorts.
I love it.
But I think the biggest thing is what people don't understand is businesses are built on this idea of supply chain. We make it here, we ship it here, we sell it here. When you start thinking about the macro level of media, advertising media, you start looking at the value chain. And I think when I look at technology, I look at how they're going to impact the value chain. That value chain could speak to, gaps in data. It could be redefining the idea of measurement and accountability. Mm-hmm. It could be around engagement. It could be around storytelling. It could be around strategic planning. It could be around consumer intel. It could be product design, product development. I think it will be in everything. Because all these things run on intellectual capacity, and AI is very much the pursuit of that. It's an arms race of intelligence for all the things that I just talked about as facets. So that way it'll be applied to everything. And as I joked on the panel, it'll be like kung fu. It'll be in everything you do. And I think that's the biggest thing to start to look at in terms of the possible adaptation of what AI will be in the business space. So I think all bets are off in the fact that there's nothing that couldn't get optimized. And I think that's what people need to realize.
Yeah. And in terms of, a topic that I talk about a lot on the podcast, and one of my current and future episodes touches on it as well, where we're getting our news. And I know, right? And the impact of all of that technology on veracity, on choice, on transparency.
Yeah, look, the world's currency is not technology, it's trust. And that's everywhere from global leaders to super PACs to allies to political candidacy to buying the latest toilet paper and why 3 ply is better than 1. Everything rides on that currency of trust. And when you start to think about news and information, it's whom do we trust? And there will be sources that have a greater currency around trust than others, and some of it will be circumstantial to the subject matter. Things that have far greater implications, the trust meter and source will have to be far greater in terms of its currency. If I just need to trust the source of where to get some Tylenol, it's not that serious. Impulsivity doesn't require as much trust as things that are high intensive. So I think it'll be a sliding scale of trust, especially in the area of AI. But there will be question around the integrity of information. Where is the source? How is it sourced? How is it built? We will have to return to the era where we know how things are made. When they talk about the difference between the generations, boomers and say Gen Z, boomers know how everything's made because they come from the industrial age to see everything built. Gen Z knows how nothing is made. They just want it to work. And if it's not, they're whining. Trust will return to a similar architecture where it will only hold currency if we understand how it was created and why without an agenda or biases. And I think that's what we're looking at as a return to. And that's probably a good reset. But the big thing is the ability to discern. When they talk about the gift of discernment in the church, the ability to look at something and understand what it is beyond its face value. Is it who it says it is or who you say you are? AI is going to dial up that notion of discernment. Is it what it say it is? Do we trust it for what it say it's supposed to be? And nothing is going to be more important than news and information. And I think the thing is, we may return to, if I can't walk in the room and look it in the eye, I don't believe it. I think the physical interaction is going to be now paramount to the trust meter. Because when we think about this notion of deep fakes, fake content, the proliferation of it, the one thing a deep fake can't do is walk in the room and fake you out.
Right.
We call those psychopaths or narcissists. We don't run into many. But we have the ability to size them up and see what their behavior is.
There are psychopathic AI.
Yes, there are.
So.
Yes, but I think we will get to that place where we will have to go old school. I need to be able to look it in the eye and trust what I see.
Walter Cronkite.
Yes, absolutely.
Albert Thompson, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That was just remarkable, as always. Hey, it's E.B. again. This is a thank you for listening to Insider Interviews, but it's also an acknowledgement that this episode was recorded while the wildfires of Los Angeles kicked off and were burning. My heart goes out to all of my friends. It's my former hometown, and especially to the composer of my theme music, John Clayton, the Grammy-winning composer, arranger, and bassist who lost his entire house and the house of his daughter. So if you want to donate, I will add a link to the show notes of where you can take action to support the Los Angeles. And if you wanted to support this content at buymeacoffee.com/mossappeal, I will be donating a portion of all donations back to Los Angeles. Thanks again for listening.